Welcome, Sacred Wild Sisters and everyone else. This is Suzette Winona Summers, creator of The Journey Back to Your Sacred Wild Self, the admin of Rediscover Your Sacred Wild Self. And I am a certified energetic and spiritual life coach. And I'm here today with Amy.Renee. Amy, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Amy.Renee. I am a holistic wellness practitioner. And as part of the holistic wellness practitioner, one of the things I do is I help guide people to connect to their inner wisdom. And within doing so, sometimes we find out where the power actually lies within us, which brings up our topic for today. Suzette,
yes. Yeah, so we wanted to come on and talk about ways that we step into our personal power. What does that look like? What is that? What's led us there, and what arises and what is sparked or triggered when we decide to step into our personal power? What does that look like? So, Amy, first off, I just want to ask you, what does it mean for you to step into your personal power?
Thank you for asking me. And I also want to invite those at home or watching this video to comment below. What does that mean for you? So what it means to me to step in my personal power is to take responsibility and ownership of what is taking place in my life. And I'd like to give a little example of that. Say, for instance, if my car breaks down, instead of asking, why did this happen to me, can I perhaps change that perspective and ask, why is this happening for me? Sometimes we may not know the why, but if I can trust in the moment that there's something bigger in play, and I can focus on all the good that's with this. Say, for instance, maybe if I got in my car and went to where I was going, maybe something would have happened. And because my car broke down, I get to do something differently. I get to live another day. And so to me, it's just really like just owning the situation, owning what's present. How about for you, Suzette? What does it mean to you?
Well, for me, stepping into my personal power and taking personal responsibility. First off, what it feels like in my body. I want to share that first because, you know, sometimes that body sense really, really taps you in to know that, oh yeah, I'm there. I'm stepping out from my personal power. And for me, what it feels like is I kind of visualize it like this golden core, and it's just dropped down. It's very grounded, very centered. You know, I get the sense of my shoulders are back, my chest is out, and I feel very confident and secure and grounded. And I feel really connected to my higher power when I'm feeling, you know, that personal power. For me to be connected to something bigger than myself and know that it's not just about me, right? But at the same time, what you're saying about personal responsibility, yes, like it is about taking responsibility and turning that focus back on myself and stepping out from that place of, okay, this is what I want. This is what needs to happen. These are the people that I want to be close with. These are the people I need to keep boundaries with. If I feel motivated to speak, I speak. If I feel like inclined to be silent, I'm silent. It's trusting my inner guidance and feeling really connected to that. Because for me, when I'm connected to source, I move more fully into the world, and I'm not trying to blame anybody else or put it off on circumstances. I'm taking full responsibility And I'm confident that I can step into whatever happens because it's not just about me. I'm connected to something bigger than me. So I can trust into that and surrender into that and step into that more confidently. Yeah.
I love that share. And I love how you brought up the aspect of boundaries too. Yeah, that it's not just about us, but the piece about it, like setting boundaries, like if there's someone in my life that might be stepping all over me or taking advantage of me, that is where that piece of personal power comes into play. For me to say, no, this is not okay with me, versus giving into that and allowing it to be because I don't want to make them mad or I don't want to upset things or whatever the case may be. Is like, boundaries are a great way to really step into your personal power.
Yeah.
Do you have any examples or a story of how this even came into your life?
Oh, yeah. So I guess like anything, it was something that it was a opportunity for growth over many years, you know? So I was given this opportunity and these lessons, and little by little, I was learning more and more. But for me, the big place was in my marriage, my ex marriage, I guess. I believe it was about 10 or 11 years ago. I was married to a man. We had children together, and he had his addictions. He had addictions. There was toxic behavior. There was just a lot of unhealthy dynamics. But I wanted that marriage and our family to work so badly that I wanted him to change so that I could be happy. And I wasn't going to be happy until he changed. And it didn't matter what he did to me because I was holding on like a pit bull, like for real. I was like holding on, and I was like, you know, like it didn't matter to me at that moment in that time how many blows I took, you know, like emotional, physical, whatever, because I was so attached to what I wanted. And once I started to wake up and be like, what am I doing? I lost myself. I really did. Like, I had forgotten what joy felt like. I was so preoccupied with him and what he was doing and his every move, really. And I wanted him to change so badly that, I was miserable. I just felt like drained of life force. And when I started to seek out help and to look for answers outside of myself and get guidance, because I desperately needed guidance. Once I started to do that, these beautiful people around me, wise women, healers, all kinds of people. I was also involved in a 12-step group, Al-Anon, which was incredibly helpful. But one of the biggest things that they did for me was lovingly turn the attention back upon myself, like guide me back to myself, you know, taking responsibility for myself, my choices, my happiness. It wasn't contingent upon what he was doing or what he was saying or how he acted. And my life was my responsibility. So if I chose to stay with him, then that was my choice. If I chose to leave, that was my choice. My happiness was my responsibility. And for me, that was huge. As I started to take responsibility and I started to release and let go of that victim mentality that I was holding on to and clinging on to because I wanted to blame him because he was, you know, I created this story of like, I'm married to him, you know, we need to make this work and he needs to change because it would be best for him, it would be best for me, it would be best for the children, and then I get my dream, you know, like I had my own selfishness, you know, and the truth of the matter was he had his own story and he had his own journey. And the most loving thing for me was to let him live that out, because he had things to learn and ways to grow. And I did too. And really, I say this in a lot of ways, that relationship was an incredible blessing to me, because it gave me the opportunity to learn this lesson that I needed to learn for a very long time, that I was not a victim, and that my happiness and all things, my personal power, was contingent upon me taking responsibility for my life in every way. Yeah. So sorry if that was long-winded, but I did want to share that. Yeah. Thank you for asking, Amy. What about you? What does that look like for you?
Thank you so much for sharing that story. And for those who are watching, can you relate to the story that she just shared? Maybe this is where you're at in your life. Give us a like or a thumbs up if you can relate to that.
Yeah.
Thumbs up there. I can so relate to you. So for me, how this came up in my life is I too was in a similar situation. And the person that I was with had an addiction issue and always seemed angry. No matter that, like, he would just come home from work and, like, I have 2 little dogs, so the dogs would be all happy to see him and greet him and barking, and he would just be mad at them for doing that. And so I lived a life, so to speak, to where I was always trying to do something for him to make him happy, to please him. And in return, I wasn't doing that for myself. I was relying on his happiness for me too to be happy.
Yeah.
And after doing this for so many years, I finally realized it doesn't matter what I do. This person is choosing to be unhappy. I am not, nothing that I do is going to change the story for him. I had, at that point in time, kind of quit doing everything that I loved. Like, I really love being out in nature. Summertime, I love swimming and going to the lake and just doing new, exciting, fun things. And with this person in my life, I kind of became a homebody where I was just staying inside and not doing anything. And so it was almost like an aspect of my soul of who I was like dying. And I chose, okay, I'm done with this. I'm going to start doing the things that I love again. And when I did, it opened up so many doors for me. Yeah. Of course, that relationship kind of took a turn whenever I chose to step into my power and start doing this for myself. But I had to realize that that relationship had served its purpose and that I could choose to stay in it or I could choose to move forward in my life. And when I did, and I learned to connect with what I loved and to love myself again, eventually this amazing man came into my life that could love me too. And the joy and the experiences that I've gotten to experience again, being like that partner, yeah, it's wonderful to have, but I'm not reliant on that.
Right.
I know that it's up to me to be happy, to choose how I want to respond or react to the situations that come up in my life. So
yeah. I love
thank
that.
you so much for this piece. Also, feels important to share. How do we know when we're giving away our power? Is there maybe key phrases or words, or how do we know when we're doing that?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. And I love what you just said about, you were at a crossroads. You had a choice to make. It was either staying there and being miserable, or moving on and creating your own happiness. And I think we are given those opportunities often, every day in our life. Am I going to choose to see this as, and I think this kind of goes on to it. Am I going to see myself as a victim, or am I going to see myself as creating my own reality? And we have that choice every day, and every situation that we're in. And to answer your question, about, what are the key phrases, I guess for me, that would be, anytime you're saying like, he made me feel, or she made me feel, or this always happens to me. That's, that one. What's another one? Oh, anything that's like creating a victim story, where we're kind of buying into this place of, I'm a victim, that things happen to me and I'm just an innocent bystander, like I didn't do anything. So anytime that you see yourself kind of going down that road of like, this happened to me, or, I'm the victim, I need this, or then it's a key to me. Like when I see it in myself, I'm like, oh, I'm giving my power away. I'm giving my power away because I'm putting it on somebody else's behavior, or the things they're saying, or the things they're doing, rather than I always have the opportunity and the choice to step back away from something, or to create a boundary with somebody if I'm not feeling supported and loved and encouraged, or I always have the opportunity to use my voice. And, there might be some steps before that I need to get to before I can step into that. Learning to love myself, value myself, paying attention to myself, knowing myself, knowing what I need and want. But taking that responsibility again. What about you? What do you think are some of those things that we say sometimes that clue us on to the fact that, well, we're slipping into victim role, or we're like not taking responsibility, or.
So it feels important to share. Sometimes it's what we don't say even.
Yeah.
So to acknowledge what I'm choosing not to say, or what I'm choosing to say. Or sometimes like after certain situations played out and we kind of reflect back onto that, I should have done that. Right there is almost like shaming ourselves. We chose what we chose. Okay. So to step into that and own that I chose this for the reasons I did. And now I know from this experience that if another experience like it comes up, I want to choose to do this instead. Yes. To really own that instead of shoulding. Something we have a little joke between my partner and I. You just should on yourself. Yeah. Instead of the shoulding word, I can, I could, I'm choosing to do this. So that definitely is a big piece for me. Also, I know earlier we had spoke about sometimes when we are choosing to step into our power, fears arise. Yeah. Would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, first off, the one that comes to mind, and this happens, because it's, like I said, it's a daily choice. But sometimes when I am faced with that opportunity of stepping into my power or not, the things that arise are, what are they going to think of me? Are they going to still like me? And I've really had to get over that. I don't care. Not to be, I don't have time for that. The people who love me and hear me and feel me, they're going to know that my heart is really pure intentioned, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. And, and I do things imperfectly, like I was sharing with you earlier something about an interaction with my son. And, and it was so, the way that I did it was not from a place of personal power. As I look at it now, it was a place of like, it just wasn't, it was a place of very subtle discussion. It wasn't direct, and when I'm stepping into my personal power, I'm direct. I'm accepting of the situation, and I'm responding rather than blaming and reacting. And so those are some of the things that come up. That's a big one for me. What are they going to think of me? How am I going to be seen? And I don't want to hurt other people's feelings. That's the other part of it too. And the thing is, when I'm direct and I'm coming from a place of love and coming from my core connection with the divine, and there's intentionality, the message is clear and with love. And when I try to subvert that and kind of be subtle and kind of slip things in on this, like almost not necessarily subconscious, but sort of like just little words and phrases here and there, a lot of times it's more hurtful and harmful than if I am direct. So it's funny the way that happens too. When I'm afraid, or I'm resistant to stepping in my power, I can hurt people more than when I'm actually stepping into my power and coming from a place of love and intention and purpose and presence and directness. Yeah. So what about you? What do you think? What comes up for you when you think about stepping into your personal power? Are there resistances or fears that arise in you?
Right. So I think one of the scariest things for me was, I'm going to refer back to that relationship I was in. And he was someone that told me that if I ever left, that I would be found in the bottom of the river. So that was really, really, really scary for me. Mm-hmm. And
I was threatened with death too. Like that's really, interesting.
So I had to do like what I don't want allows me to see what I do want. Mm-hmm. And it allows me to take actions of creating that safety for myself and that safe environment of what I can do. And I also chose to know that his fear was creating that response of that threat towards me. Yeah. He had his own personal work to do. Mm-hmm. I knew without a doubt that something greater than me was present in my life. Mm-hmm. Synchronicity, signs, just this deeper knowing within me that there's something guiding me a different direction. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to trust that. And yes, it might be scary, but I also can trust and receive the information that is needed to help me along my path. So by seeing what I don't want to see, it allows me to know what I do want and to focus on that piece of it.
Yeah.
I feel is very, very empowering. So I want to thank everyone who's watching right now. And if you have any questions or if there's anything coming up for you, please comment.
I want to comment on your point. Like, I think you made a really good point about, being threatened. And, for me, I remember very specifically, like this was the point where I was like, okay, this can't happen anymore. My children were in the living room. I was in the living room with my husband. They were kind of going in and out, playing on the swing set. And I can't remember exactly what he was upset with me about, but he put his hand up like that. And he was like, I will, and I was like, and I knew, our interaction was enough that I knew like, this isn't safe. And I don't know if, I think it was either the night before or the night of that I had this dream that this lion, and not a good lion. Like, I love lions. I love big cats. But this lion, this hungry lion, was stalking around my children and I. And I had this feeling, this like dread of it devouring us. And I mean, it was, it was deep. And that's when I knew. I was like, I filed a DVO, EPO, DVO, both of those. Emergency protective order and domestic violence order, because I knew I needed that protection. And I just wanted to bring that up because the point that you made, so often women are threatened, and we don't want to think that that can happen to us, but it happens all the time. So we need to take the measures that we need to take in order to keep ourselves, our children, our families safe. So I just wanted to put that piece in there. And thank you for bringing that up, because, yeah, that's an important piece. So thank you, Amy.
Yeah, it's I just had an experience of where I felt chills all over my body, is because now I'm thinking about how many women are out there that may be in these situations that we were once in, and like, there's another way. And when you choose to love yourself and say, no more, I'm not putting up with this anymore.
Miracles happen, and it's like a ray of sunshine. A path will open. The universe will provide for you always. I know this. You start making changes, even the smallest of changes, and the universe opens up to support you and guide you to your highest and best. Yeah.
It really does. And it's been such a gift, and I'm so happy. And I encourage those of you that are out there that may be watching this, like, reach out to us. If there's something that's present in your life, and both of us, I feel, can offer our services to you, whoever you resonate with. Susie, would you like to share how they can reach you and contact you?
Oh, sure. Yeah. You can reach me through Facebook. You can go to my website, SuzetteWinonaSummers.com. You can email me at summershawksong@gmail.com. And reach out. Give me a call. Let me know what you need. We'll set up just a free coaching session. First one's free, and we can work one-on-one. Also have programs. I have this really cool new program that's coming out. It's the Soul Sparking Self-Love Immersion. It's a 30-day, 4-week program. There's going to be video modules. There'll be some emailing. I think you'll really enjoy and appreciate the emailing, but I'll share more about that with you as it gets to completion. It is in the works, and I'm super excited to share it. So I'll tell you more about it. Amy, please share your contact information.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for you. Like, I know you on a personal level, and I know that what you have to offer and just the bit that you've done with me is just really amazing work. So I want to honor you and thank you for sharing what you're sharing with the world. For those that would like to connect with me, you can find me on Facebook, Amy Renee. My page is Amy.Renee.Kraus, so you can definitely follow me on that. Email me, Amy.Renee.Kraus. So it's amy.renee.kraus@gmail.com. I am here for you.
Amy is amazing. She holds such beautiful sacred space. We've been working together for several months, and it's just been such a blessing. Such a blessing. Just, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you all for joining us today. Any last minute words before we...
Just so much gratitude to all of you and so much love. I love you all. And I want to see you rise into your highest and best selves. And as we as women step into our power and take responsibility for ourselves, our lives, our joy, our happiness, we give other women the permission if they need it. I don't know. But we encourage them to do the same, that it's okay, that we have this inside of us. So I encourage you to do the steps that you need to step into your power, because as you shine your light ignites others and will help them to shine. And we will shift the world. The planet needs women. The planet needs our hearts. The planet needs our minds. The planet needs our spirits. And we can only do that by starting to awaken that in ourselves and empower ourselves. So thank you. Amy, thank you.
Yes. Peace and blessings and love and light to each of us, each of you. Thank you.
Blessings. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.